Hubler, believe it or not, it's the 70th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. And just now, never before seen video is coming to light. Look at this. This is amazing. The video and pictures taken by Navy photographer Clyde Daughtry, who was assigned to the USS Argonne, I hope I'm saying that correctly. And it's just amazing that it was kind of turned up as somebody was looking for some footage, and then it turned out that none of these have been, or a great deal of it hadn't been published.
Did a relative find this stuff?
Yeah, apparently a relative had this video just kind of sitting on the shelf. He saw the ad looking for it, and he's like, oh, sure, you know, you can use it, assuming that it was nothing new. But apparently this is unique footage that has never been published before, and it's an amazing video.
Which kind of says something about, you know, those heroes. They talk about how they didn't really talk about it much.
Right.
You know, and the
Modest
fact that he
maybe,
did, yeah, very modest, and that they, to find this new video is pretty incredible.
Right, and it puts things in perspective. Up until September 11th, that was the biggest attack and loss of life the U.S. had ever sustained. It, you know, it really is, as the saying goes, a day that will live in infamy, because it changed the world.
Yeah, I remember my grandparents talking about it, and I believe an uncle of ours is still there. Like, you know, ended up going down with the ship.
Really?
So, yeah.
A lot of people have connections, you know, with that many people being lost, and during that era with so many people stationed there, there's a lot of connections to it. Yeah.
Right, well, my whole family was Navy, so
there you go.
That's why. Yeah.
All right. Well, switching gears just a little bit. First, it was Occupy Wall Street. Then it spread to other cities. And now it's Occupy Congress. It's called Take Back the Capitol. People from all over the country headed to Washington, D.C. to meet face-to-face with their congressmen. When they couldn't, demonstrators staged sit-in in front of the lawmaker's office. It started as an outgrowth of the movement to protect collective bargaining. That started right here in Wisconsin. And many of the demonstrators were people that made the trip from Wisconsin to meet with Congressman Paul Ryan when they, this YouTube video shows a couple of people who were there and couldn't meet with him. They were told that they needed to make an appointment. Exactly. You don't just drop in on the congressman. He doesn't just entertain you because you happen to be in the neighborhood.
Although that would be nice if he was at our beck and call, but that doesn't work out that way.
It doesn't.
I laughed when I saw this last night because it's true. It's like, yeah, I get it. You got a message and you're taking and you're going. But it's like, did you call?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Dude, he's not here. He's not here. Anybody who wants to meet with a lawmaker has to make an appointment. That's how it is in most people's lives.
Is it really what they wanted to do, or what just happened? They got attention in the going.
Well, exactly. They got attention. But the guy's like, do you have an appointment? They're like, well, we're here now. Again, do you have an appointment?
I just happen to be in the neighborhood.
Do you want attention and post that video, or do you actually want to get something done? Again.
Right. What is your motive?
Because the attention, you have to have a point, too. I mean, even if they had scheduled an appointment, a lot of times when they do get the ear of someone who's willing to listen, it's just this generic, you know, fix it. Well, fix it ain't going to do it. You've got to get a plan going. Even if you can't sell that plan to anybody, at least you can say, this is what we want. A lot of times it's just this generic jobs. Well, okay, but how do we get there?
It seems to be, though, a clear view of what is not working, and not necessarily knowing what they want, but knowing what they don't want any more of.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, that's a true point. That is a true point. That much is true. They also are moving into some foreclosed homes now because, you know, the parks aren't available.
Right.
So in Seattle, and you didn't know this in New York.
I did not hear this.
Yeah, they're moving in, and some of the neighbors say they're actually happy about it because, you know, well, they'll fix up the place. Well, how do they have electricity if they're foreclosed? So these people are moving in there. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it brings me up to the email that you and I both got about talking about this before.
Oh, you're going to go there?
I'm going to go there because it makes me so mad.
Okay.
Exactly. I won't say her name. Well, you haven't heard this?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we got this email that didn't even come to us.
It came,
yeah, it was weeks ago. It came through as somebody else that kind of knows us that sent it on to us. So this person didn't know how to go by the right channels and make the appointment or find the actual email for us, which isn't difficult. And goes off to say that Katrina and Nicole don't understand this concept at all and what these people are going for. They say someone might want to tell them that the demonstrators are people who are unhappy with the way things are going in this country. They need jobs and they're tired of the rich getting richer when they can't even get the basics. Okay, we get that. We understand that point. What Nicole and I were saying weeks ago was, don't obstruct people. You know, when we were talking about North Avenue, it was just kind of a goofy place to have the sit-in or whatever they had.
And exactly what Rob just said. How? I can say I hate certain things too, but what are we going to do about it? Let's get a plan. And yeah, exactly.
We know you have the right to do that. We are all for that. We just want you to come up with some concepts of what we're going to do to get it done.
Even if it's as simple as pass X bill, or we don't have to be a big plan.
Right, but then there's,
something.
wait, hold on, I know you're going to say something, but just let me
All
get
right.
you one more thing.
You
'Cause
got
then
it.
she made it
Take it.
personal,
Uh-oh.
and that's what I got mad.
Then what happened?
She said Katrina thinks she's walked on the wild side simply because she forgot to put her son's name on his crayons. Okay, now I'm angry.
No.
Because she hasn't had enough life experience to comment on something as real as poverty and joblessness. Okay, let me tell you that you probably haven't watched all of our shows, and I get that. But I ended up putting myself through college. My parents got a divorce my senior year in high school. I had to beg, steal, and borrow for every dime that I got to put myself through college. And then when I got my first job, I had to move across country, away from everything I knew, to Parkersburg, West Virginia. Okay, that's a hard thing to do, but I found my first job, and I got paid a whopping $15,000, $6 an hour. And when I anchored the nightly news, because they only paid us halftime for overtime, I got $1.50. $1.50 to anchor the night news. So I have
rough.
put in some time, okay? I understand, and I have been out of work. I got laid off for 2 months, before.
But again, it
and
just
so
says,
it's just,
and
you
there's
need
that,
to know more about
yes,
people.
do not just assume things.
Right.
No.
That was a nasty email, again, filled with typos, roundabout message. And it was like,
Okay,
again,
now what would you like to say,
and
Cassandra?
go ahead, Cassandra.
I'm going to just let that hover.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to say nothing.
No. But on the personal level,
Oh, come on, I know. It's just the personal to...
And I understand that. I mean, we
Right.
receive in these chairs, we receive a lot of pot shots, and it's
That's a
not
good point.
it's not comfortable, and
Right.
and,
But that's
and
why
some
we're
of them
here.
are
We can
extremely.
take it.
When you do go personal, then to me your point is kind of lost. Because you're making a personal attack on one of us, and we are. I mean, it's our job, newsflash, to talk about what's in the news.
Right.
But when you make it personal, then the point's kind of ineffective. So I'm sure we will revisit the occupation again.
I'm sure we will.
I'll
We're
save
gonna
my
get a little
comment
bit
for the
personal
next
here.
time we occupy something.
Personal here for a second, and this is scary because I'm about to let you inside my mind for just a
Uh-oh,
moment. So
brace
there's
yourself.
Occupy stuff going on in D.C., right? And then there's, of course, news out of Madison. They're changing the protest rules at the Capitol. So I've been reading these stories and hearing these sound bites since 4:30 this morning, and my twisted mind... This is what's happening the whole time I'm reading the news on these. I'm thinking, isn't it the most wonderful time of the year? And so our photojournalist Miles Cooksey put together a little something. This is what was in my kettle.
Oh, okay.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer.
It's almost like they're caroling.
Right?
This is so good.
They're not, they're angry.
Of the year. It's the happiest
Oh my gosh. So anyway,
This is like what?
we love your mind. All right, do you want to get into the mind of your husband and what he really wants from you? That's what we'll be talking about after the break.